Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. Welcome to the Ask the Expert show. And this is really my favorite show because all of the guests are from Authors and Speakers Visibility Playground. And it's just such an amazing group. They're such heavy hitters and they make such a difference in the world. And I love to have them on the show. And one of the things is that the more you participate, the sooner you get to come on the show. And so I love the person that we have today because she's so helpful with the rest of the group. And you're going to love the topic because I do. And it's all about speakers and experts and authors and how they can make their bios primo so that they can get interviews. And, that opens the door. And it's just amazing when you give someone a bio and say, okay, I'm happy to be on your show. A lot of times I'm on summits just to help a new person get started so that they've got somebody that's really going to make a difference in their summit. And when they see I have to laugh because when they see the bio, they can't even actually say it. I had one the other day that was like that. But anyway, what you want to do is have a really primo bio so that you get invited on podcasts and broadcasts and other visibility opportunities. So that's what we're going to talk about on the show, not just your bio, but how to get on shows. And what about mistakes that speakers make? Boy, I could add a lot of those in based on the shows I've done. So let me just take a moment out so that we can get our show started, and I'll be right back with you. And welcome back. I'm so glad you're with us on Ask the Expert. Our guest today is just absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait to get her on here. And she was just telling me a story about how her book went #1 in 4 countries. And it was only the preview. It wasn't even the book. She just tested it out. You talk about guts, just sticking it up there and saying, let's see what happens. And I'm going to let her tell you, I want her to tell you what she does and why she does it. That's going to be the fun part. So let's bring on Nancy Jutten. Hi, Nancy. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're in the Authors and Speakers Visibility Playground, and now you're on Ask the Expert. How wonderful is that?
It is wonderful. Thanks for having me, Dr. Shirlene.
My pleasure, my pleasure. I want to dig right in and just tell people what your background is so that they have a clear understanding of the importance that you have in the speaking industry.
My background, years ago, I owned a publicity agency that represented big name CEOs who wanted to be seen, heard, and celebrated in the media, like the Wall Street Journal and Oprah Magazine and big venues like that. And what I discovered in working with clients as a publicist is they would say, just get me out there. And I'd say, well, tell me about yourself. And I'd go to their bio on the website and I'd be looking for the caffeine or the no-dose to stay awake. And I'd say, you know what? We're going to have to do a whole lot better. If we want to get on those big shows, we got to make you sound like you're something special. And so I developed a whole series of systems and processes and templates and tools to help these folks stand out and feel so much more powerful and be so much more powerful at first glance. And I subsequently built a very successful business helping experts, speakers, and authors get seen, heard, celebrated, and compensated for their winning ways, starting first by who the heck are you? Who do you serve? Why does it matter? And can we somehow say that in a way that will set you apart from everyone else at hello?
Perfect. That's absolutely perfect because that's what everybody needs right now. All of us got our speaking gigs all knocked off. We're all sitting here going, woo, what do we do now? So let's talk about a few things about what are speakers doing now? How are they getting the speaking gigs that they need to get in order to keep moving forward?
Well, there are over 1 million podcasts on the air that are looking for guests just like you. And the beauty of a podcast is if you are specific and terrific in targeting a podcast that is for entrepreneurs or health or wealth or politics or personal development or faith and values, if you know your niche, you can find the top podcasts for each of these niche audiences. You can listen to them. You can find out how you could add value to the conversation that hasn't been covered before. And you can make a pitch the media can't resist so that you're the one that gets selected to be a guest on those shows. And when you are a guest on those shows, they already have an embedded audience of people that are interested in what you have to say. And so if you could deliver your message brilliantly with sassy sound bites and a brilliant call to action at the end, you can ping pong all those listeners back into your world and nurture them to become your clients, your fans, your followers. And that's how it's done. So if you cannot speak on a live stage, you can get yourself booked on the live virtual podcast stages of all the podcasters that are out there. And when you're waiting in between podcast guesting appointments, you can speak live yourself using Facebook Live, using webinars, Zoominars, teleclasses, whatever it is that you want to do. But if you want to speak more, what's the answer? Speak more.
Yeah, that's a good one. If you want to speak more, speak more. Absolutely. And you can even create your own show or have your own podcast. You could do whatever you want. And I think this time right now is so pertinent for entrepreneurs to really step into who they are, because there's so many that are stepping back. And you and I were talking a little bit earlier. You just never know who might be watching. And I did a little test the other day. I'm going to tell you my little secret, okay? I did a little test because you never know who's watching you. And we sit in front of the camera and we do our shows and whatnot, but we never really know. And even when I post on Facebook, I don't really know. So I posted a photo of all these different coffees. And I said, tell me what number you are. And oh my gosh, I think I've got like 50, 60 different people that have posted, a 3, a 7, I don't like that. These look the same, all their things that they had to say. And you find out who's really watching and who sees what you're doing. Otherwise, you don't really see, because not everybody does a like. And likes are a joke anyway. Right?
Yeah, one of my favorite authors, his name is Steve Sims. He wrote the book called Blue Fishing, The Art of Making Things Happen. And he says, you can't pay a bar tab with Facebook likes.
That's a good one. I like that. I like that a lot.
But since you brought up this thing about we don't know who's watching, one of the things that I always say to any of my clients or anyone who's listening, and you and I were talking a bit about this as we were getting started, is show up as if the most important person was going to be in the audience hearing that interview that you're doing right now, because that person could be watching or listening right now and opening a door for you that you had no idea how great it could be. And that has happened to me many, many times. And I know you were telling me a very exciting story about something that's happened for you because of that. So show up with presence, show up with authority, show up being likable, show up with a smile on your face, deliver massive value, and who knows what great things will happen on the other side.
And one more caveat, consistency. Consistency is so important, because if you aren't out there consistently, then people can't find you. And if they're watching you to begin with, and then you just don't show up, that's no good. You can't just kick back on the couch and put your feet on the coffee table and watch the news all day. We want people
and I actually think you shouldn't. Now more than ever, I don't think we should.
I don't either.
I think we should control the things that we can control and influence the people that we're here to help, and also avoid some of the big mistakes that people make along the way before we even get to the gate.
And that was a perfect caveat, because the next thing I wanted to ask you is, what are some of the biggest mistakes that speakers and experts and authors make with their messaging? Talk to us about that.
Well, there's a few, and I'll walk you through them. One of them is what I call blah, 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 blah. It's when you go on and on and on about everything you've ever done in your life, and it's not relevant to the objective that you have, and it's not interesting either. I would challenge you to come up with 50 words that are brilliant, that establish you as the expert, and that says something memorable, remarkable, and repeatable about you, and make that 50 words your best. A wall of words doesn't serve you well. Another mistake that you can avoid is wearing too many hats. I'm an attorney. I make beautiful crafts. I look after dogs in my spare time. I'm married. I love to surf. Won't you have me on your show? No. The answer is no. If a podcast wants to have you on their show, it has to be for a specific, terrific reason as to why you are the guest they want to have. They don't want to know every hat you've ever worn. They want to know the major hat that you wear that allows you to make your biggest difference in the world. So lead with what you are brilliant at and cut the rest of it to the cutting room floor. Charlene, I think you just disappeared. I hope you're still there.
I'm right here. I'm just letting you do your thing.
Oh, all right. Okay. I wasn't sure how that was going to work.
No problem.
Another mistake is boring us with how the watch works and instead of telling us what time it is. Sometimes people will say, well, when you work with me, you get help with SEO and you learn how to get referrals and you learn how to do this and you learn how to do that. When instead you could say, clients work with me because they attract more clients faster and more easily than they ever could before. I'd love to talk to you about that. Because if you bore them with how the watch works, they don't know what time it is and they don't want to stop and do business. And that's really the objective. And then another mistake that we make is forgetting that the host could be jaded. You know, sometimes hosts see so many things and they all sound the same, sort of like a Whitney Houston song. Can you please say something in your bio that brings a wink or a grin or a wow factor instead of, I'm a banker, I went to Pacific Coast Northwest Banking School, I live in this prestigious neighborhood with my wife and my 2.5 kids. Go beyond and let people get to know you. And then another thing to do instead is, if you have a philosophy of doing business that is really pithy and powerful, lead with that, because sometimes that creates a wow reaction right out of the gate. And I'll offer one from my husband, who is a certified financial planner. His bio starts with, clients hire me for my head, trust me for my heart, and value me most when I use both.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
When you have it, see, when people have that wow reaction, they'll go, wow, that guy sounds like someone I'd want to sit down and have a cup of coffee with. And maybe that's someone I could trust to help me with my personal finances so I can do more with the time that I have with the rest of my life. So if you don't have a sassy soundbite you want to lead with, you could also lead with the sassy soundbite that one of your clients said about you. Because sometimes the things that people say about the impact that you make, they are stated in such beautiful words that are so memorable that you could have never imagined how great they could be until you asked someone to say, what is the impact that my work has made on your life, your business, your world? And do you have a few words to put that forth for me? Because when people say that, and that's what they see first, it creates a head whip reaction like, wow, that's so memorable. And that makes me someone that wants to reach out and say, hey, let's chat. Or let's have you on the show. Or let's bring you to the stage.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
One of my clients gave me the title that she said, you make money rain on me.
That's a good one. I'll have what she's having. You know, that's one of those I'll have what she's having moments. I mean, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I thought it was really cute. So I use it all the time now. And she's in a lot of my classes and she hears me say it. And she always laughs about it because ever since we worked on her programs together, she is making a ton of money. And the other thing is that when you take my heart-based sales course, and this will make sense to you, Nancy, we learn how to speak the words and phrases that our target market are listening for. And when you go on a podcast or a summit or any one of the—
Right. And you know what? That is really a poorly executed use of your time.
Yeah, sort of strange too.
I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, people care so much about that they forget about keeping their eye on the ball, which is about making money. So if you can't get to the meat of the matter, it's time to bring in some reinforcements or some tools to help you get to the meat of the matter so you can get on with it, because the bigger results that you want
virtually, then everybody just contacts you. It happens to me a lot in the summits. I get the hosts.
Nice.
Yeah, because they've got me there for 30 minutes. And I just sell them on whatever it is I'm doing, because that's what they're asking me to talk about. And then they set an appointment with me after that. So I'll do a lot of summits.
Well, since you brought up summits, the next time any of our listeners or viewers see a summit, I challenge you to look at the bios of all the people that are in the summit, because usually they're very short, but you as a viewer will make your decision about which sessions you're going to make your priority based on what that bio says. If it grabs you at hello, you're in. If it bores you to tears, you're not making it a priority. And I think that decision makers out there are looking for people who will grab you at hello. Mm-hmm. So if it's been a while since you've looked at your bio, your LinkedIn, the bio for the back of your book, the bio that you use on your sizzling speaker sheet or your media one sheet, chances are, since COVID-19 happened, you might have made some pivots in your message and your approach. It's probably time to give that baby a makeover to be more relevant.
I think I do it every other month, actually, just because I'm on different summits or different shows. So I try to make the bio conducive to whatever it is that their needs are. And I think that's really important, because then it helps the host know what you're good at in that area of expertise.
Well, and when you are well prepared for a host, a lot of hosts hang out with other hosts. Birds of a feather fly together.
Yeah.
If you're a great guest on somebody's show and someone says, "Oh, I need a last minute guest. Do you know anybody? Who would you recommend?" You're going to remember the ones that made your life easier, that were a great, engaging guest who delivered real value, who were a pleasure in every way. And you're going to remember the people that were the opposite. And so you get a choice about what you're going to be. Given the choice, raise the bar and be the best that you can be, so that you can be referred, because one good placement leads to another good placement. And all of a sudden you're everywhere all at once, and you're wondering how you're going to manage it all. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I know. And I want you to go to the point. You have this wonderful book that's coming out. And I think one of the biggest challenges that we have as speakers is managing it all. And I put a media kit right on my desktop, and it has all that stuff in it. Otherwise, I'd go nuts trying to find everything. So talk to us a little bit about your book, because you were sharing it with me before, and it's so exciting. I want it.
Well, I will make sure that one wings its way to you, so that you can see what all the fuss is about. That will be my gift to you.
Oh, thank you. I'd love that. Love, love, love it. So talk to us about it. I want to know what you have in it, how it's going to help us save time, and how it's going to make us look really good when we want to get on stage or on a really powerful show.
Well, during the shelter-in-place order, I took the opportunity to revisit the Bye Bye Boring Bio workbook that I created in 2009 and completely update it and upgrade it to be of service to speakers, experts, and authors who need to raise their voices virtually in this new world of virtual speaking in which we all find ourselves. And what Bye Bye Boring Bio workbook is all about, it's the ultimate action guide, so that every media one. So if you're a speaker and you don't have a media one sheet to introduce yourself to a podcast host, there are multiple examples from luminaries in the world who you can model yours to match, so that you look like a pro at hello. If you want to book yourself on a bigger stage, there's examples of a sizzling speaker sheet you can use. There's also examples of how to use your social media posts and LinkedIn and whatnot, and what to do there. There's also what's different about this workbook, because there's all my templates, tools, and proven systems that you can just paint by the numbers and create a story all your own that will make you memorable, remarkable, and repeatable. And the other thing that's really special and different about it is it isn't just the written word. Embedded within the workbook, there are 11 videos, 2 audios, and a pitching workbook within the workbook, so that you have multiple tools and guidance, so that you can be a rock star at hello and be ready for opportunity whenever it knocks. And I know that when this book reaches the desktops of speakers, experts, and authors that need to speak up virtually, it's going to become the go-to resource to get that done quickly and easily so that people can put that struggle behind and just start speaking up and showing up and making more money, more connections, more leads, and more cash. And so I'm very, very proud of it. And it debuts officially on September 8th. And if you're curious to check out the Amazon #1 best-selling preview of it, you can simply visit byebyeboringbio.com and see what all the fuss is about. And within that, the preview, you'll get 8 powerful things you can do to make your bio brilliant starting right now. You will get a video training to make the most of virtual speaking, and you'll have speaker sheets and media one sheets to model right now to make yours stand out at Hello. And I know that the value will deliver when you consume it, so I hope that you do. And I couldn't be more proud of it.
Do you have a system in it? I know one of the biggest challenges as a speaker is trying to keep everything straight for where we send our application in and all of that. Do you have something in the book about that and what your thoughts are on it?
There is one suggestion that I make in the workbook that I would happily chat about right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone should have a page on their blog that says abc.com/interview your first name. And when your host books you on the show, you can go to this link and there you will find your 50-word bio, your 100-word bio, your 10 questions you most like to be asked during an interview, your headshot, a picture of your book if you have one, all of your social media links. Have that all on that page, because here's what happens in my experience. And I've done 30 podcast interviews since March 1st, and I've been going one right after the other. I'm a pitching machine, and you can be too. These hosts have their own systems. They send you a form and say, please fill out this, and get it to me by this deadline. And you don't want to be hunting and pecking and cutting and pasting and trying to scramble around to find all of that. So if you have a drshirlenereeves.com/interview Dr. Shirley page, you can send that to any host as soon as you book, and they will have everything they need, whether the form comes to you or not, from their people. Mm-hmm. And I want to tell you one little story here that I hope will be worth remembering. Sometimes you're at the beach on a lounge chair in your bathing suit, and you don't even have your computer nearby, and someone calls you out of the blue and asks you to be on the show. And this is what happened to me with National Public Radio. I'm in the bathing suit. I'm drinking my iced tea. The trade winds are blowing. I'm ready to relax. And it's National Public Radio asking me to be on the show tomorrow because the guest they wanted couldn't make it, and could I stand in? Without missing a beat, I say, thank you so much for the opportunity. I can absolutely be on the show. By the time I hang up the phone, you will have my headshot, my book cover, my 5 questions that I most like to be asked, my short bio to make it easy to introduce me. And I'll even send you a PDF of my book. What else can I do to make this a fabulous experience for you and a fabulous experience for your national audience?
Beautiful.
Then she's got this pregnant pause, and she says to me, please teach the world to do what you just did.
Yes.
Because if I'm on the bathing suit drinking my iced tea, I just turn the page and that's it. But if that was you, you might be the last minute Susie that has to put on her cover up, go to the hotel, call your assistant, try to pull it together at the 11th hour. Don't do that. Behave and believe as if the most important person from the most meaningful media outlet is going to call you tomorrow, and be ready as if it was going to happen right now. Because when that happens, you're a rock star at Hello, and one good media appearance leads to the next media appearance. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden you're everywhere and you're wondering how great it could be, you know? So create that page. And if you go to Nancy, authenticvisibility.com/interview-Nancy. Copy.
Is that right?
Rob and duplicate. Look in the chat. Rob and duplicate, lift and separate, differentiate yourself in this way. Because then you will not be scrambling at the 11th hour. It'll be just make life You know what this does for you? It saves you time. It saves the host
big
aggravation.
time.
And it allows you to focus more on the connection you have with your host, the value you deliver for your audience, and how you show up as a human being instead of scrambling with those details. All those are brilliant, brilliant outcomes if you would just decide to drop out of the get ready club and be the one that's ready to go right now.
Yeah.
And with a million podcasts looking for hosts just like you don't really have any excuses other than to say that you don't know how to do it. And if you don't know how to do it, Bye Bye Boring Bio 2020 workbook will show you the way.
There we go. That's what I wanted to hear you say. Nancy, you've just been fabulous. Thank you so much for being on the show today. You gave us so much good information. And if anything, you gave everybody hope that there really is going to be a new world where we can actually speak, and we may not even have to leave home, and we can wear our pajama bottoms while we're doing it.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was lots of fun.
Thank you, Nancy. See you in Authors and Speakers Visibility Playground. So everyone, did you get some really awesome information? I did, and I've been speaking forever, and she still gave me really, really good information. You know, I want to tell you again, please join us at Authors and Speakers Visibility Playground. We have so much going on in there. And we even have a referral group on Thursdays at 10 a.m. And it's free. It's a business group. We talk business. We give referrals to each other, and they're getting so much business out of there. It's amazing. I'm really pleased that it's going so well. And so I hope you will join us and be a part of our heavy hitter community, because we'd really love to have you. So until next week, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you in Authors and Speakers Visibility Playground. Bye-bye.